short answer is yes. It's related to demand, it's related to the skills that are available, which is related to education, age and experience. And it's the latter aspects that we have problems with, is getting the sheer volume of people with the skills to drive through the technology changes that businesses want to see achieved in order to reduce their ongoing costs. It's not just in Western Europe that there's an issue. North America is hit by it, as is Australia. Anywhere where the state is trying to assist people into old age. It can be evidenced by political decisions such as care in the community and trying to actually get people not to be in full-time care for as long as they used to be. But even if you go to the basic skills of doctors, dentists, nurses, physiotherapists, yes, there's global shortages. Not every country has the same shortage, but the medical sector is an enviable one in which to have professional skills. Western Europe has been slow to recognise that the absence of apprenticeships is going to have a major impact as the area comes out of the recession. Basically, places like Australia and Canada have been nicking the best engineers out of Western Europe for 3 or 4 years. And it's only in the last 12 months that places like the UK have begun to understand that they are going to have a skills shortage moving forward. But it's a bit like trying to turn the Queen Mary. You can adjust on the wheel, but it takes a long time for the vessel to change course. And there'll be global shortages in engineering for the foreseeable future. This is an increasing requirement. Men in suits are not required to mend bulldozers. It's guys on the tools that are needed. So people with certified trade skills are definitely required in international markets. Africa as an emerging continent is a good example of where these skills are desperately needed. But similarly, in other places, you can't get your car serviced because they can't find the franchise mechanics to carry out the service. And that's because for 25 years, there's been hardly any apprenticeships and hands-on training given. Well, I'm glad I'm British and speak English because it is the first language of the world in terms of education, in terms of commercial dialogues, and emerging nations have been investing very heavily. It was led for several years by Saudi Arabia and the smaller countries in the Middle East, but now you're seeing places like Vietnam, China, Thailand, South Korea investing heavily as well, to the extent that there is now a global shortage of teachers to teach English as a second language. And what will happen? The price will go up. That tends to travel around the globe as different economies go through different cycles. Australia was incredibly buoyant from 2009 through to 2011, but the mining industry is slowing out in Australia because of the downturn in China. You've got iron ore prices have fallen by about 30%, demand for steel is well down, and we're seeing that impact in Europe as well. By contrast though, you're seeing Canada moving forward strongly on the oil and gas side, and of course places like the Middle East are investing huge amounts in solar energy. So the skills will move around the globe to where the opportunities are. it is, but it's very much a drift from the old world to the new world. There's a lot of highly talented pilots in Europe and in North America, but as we well know from reading the papers, the demand in those areas is falling, whereas demand in the Middle East and the Pacific Rim is very strong indeed. And we've got the BRIC countries, Brazil, Russia, India and China, and demand for aviation in those sectors is going to balloon in the years to come. This is a new situation really caused by skill shortages, because to tackle skill shortages you've actually got to invest in training people to have the right skills. Being an educator doesn't necessarily make you a good trainer. Having a professional qualification may not be appropriate if you wanted to teach someone how to change the engine on a bulldozer. So you actually need men and women who have got the background to provide the training. We also see an opportunity for recently retired baby boomers to come out of retirement and provide this training, because it seems a wicked waste to me that 40 years of certified trade skills are being let go when we've got international shortages. Well, I must admit that's a little bit of self-interest. I love my food, and I'm a bit concerned because I'm sending so many chefs from around the world to places like Australia. I'm concerned whether I'll be able to get my steak cooked locally into the future. But that's just a little local niche that you'll get in all markets. Wherever you look, there will be a shortage somewhere in your own backyard. And our job as recruiters is to mix and match those skills.